Hello everyone. I'm Stella, 29F, and I've been married to my husband, Keith, 29M, for 2 years. Last week, we celebrated our wedding anniversary, but what was meant to be a joyful occasion turned into a disaster, all because of my mother-in-law, Grace, 56F. To protect our privacy, I've used pseudonyms for all names. Keith went all out to make the anniversary special. He arranged a fantastic caterer, invited our closest friends and family, and even planned a sweet surprise for me. I was thrilled, spending hours choosing the perfect dress and getting ready to feel my best. The evening started wonderfully. The atmosphere was warm, with everyone laughing and enjoying themselves. I was at the bar with friends, sipping a cocktail when Grace approached. She glanced at my drink, smiled, and asked what it was. I told her it was a Manhattan, and she replied, "Nice choice. At least you don't have to worry about being pregnant." Her tone made my stomach churn. My friends noticed my discomfort, but I brushed it off with a smile, determined not to let her spoil the night. Later, a friend pulled me aside and shared that she'd overheard Grace talking to Keith's cousins, saying that if Keith had stayed with his ex, they'd already have kids by now. I was furious. She wasn't just making snide remarks about my not being pregnant. She was implying Keith made a mistake marrying me. I went to Keith, trying to stay calm, and told him what his mother said. I expected him to be upset, but he just sighed and said, "Let it go for now. We're in the middle of a party. I'll handle it later." I was stunned. His mother was disrespecting me at our own celebration, and he wanted me to ignore it. I nodded but was seething inside, feeling isolated and dismissed. Grace didn't stop. All evening, she dropped comments like, "I just adore babies, wish I had more grandkids," while staring at me, or "Some women conceive so effortlessly, don't they?" She even told Keith's aunt, loud enough for me to hear, that it was a pity when a woman couldn't give her husband a child. The worst came when she asked my mom, right in front of me, if something was wrong with me for not being pregnant yet. My mom, who hates confrontation, looked mortified and struggled to respond politely. I'd had enough. I'd bitten my tongue all night, but this was too much. I turned to Grace and said, "Since you're so obsessed with this, let me tell you why we don't have kids, and why we never will." The room went quiet. I told her it wasn't about me or any medical issue. It was because Keith was too scarred to be a father, and that was because of her. I laid out how she'd brought a string of men into their home during Keith's childhood. Unstable, sometimes cruel men who bullied Keith and his younger brother, Jason, 24M. I explained how Keith had to parent Jason because she didn't, leaving him with deep wounds from an unsafe, chaotic childhood. I said Keith was terrified of repeating that cycle, and that's why he didn't want kids. It was her fault. The room was silent. Grace's face flushed, and she was speechless for once. Keith looked stunned. I immediately knew I'd gone too far. It wasn't my place to share his trauma publicly. No matter how much I despised Grace, that was Keith's story, not mine. He walked out without a word, and I felt sick with guilt. I followed him to the backyard, where he stood, tense and silent. I apologized, but he shouted, "How could you say that in front of everyone? That was my pain, my secret." I tried to explain that I snapped because of Grace's relentless jabs, but he wasn't ready to hear it. He went back inside, leaving me alone. The party's mood soured. Guests whispered, "I can't tell you the full story in short. To watch the full story, click the related link below."